8-Bit Bombers is a fast and frantic game of real-time racing and arcade action. Players race to plan their actions using Tetris-shaped movement cards, and then resolve them on a board of treasures, traps, power-ups, perils, and the other players. Keep your wits about you and play your cards right, because speed determines player order, and quick planning and a keen mind keep you in the game. Each player gets a deck of 12 action cards, 4 player markers, 4 bombs, 3 flags, and 2 spawning points for bombers 1 and 2. To set up the game, we set the players' spawning points on each side of the board. We randomly place power-ups on each of the designated spaces. We randomly place monsters on each monster starting point. Players place their bombers 1 and 2 on the appropriate spawning points on either side of the board. Players place obstacles on the appropriate places on the board. This shows the setup for 4 players on the 4-player board. The board is double-sided with different setups for 3 and 2 players. The game is carried out in rounds. There are 3 phases in each round: player planning phase, action resolution phase, and upkeep phase. Player planning phase. In this phase, players will draw 6 cards from their deck and look at them at the same time. Players will then place some or all of their 6 action cards simultaneously and in real time under each of their bomber icons in the order that they plan to activate the actions on those cards. These action cards will be carried out by the corresponding bomber icon on the board. If players play fewer than 6 cards, they discard the rest of their hand into a discard pile. Player order for the round is determined by who finished assigning their cards first. The number of action cards under each bomber must be the same: 1, 2, or 3 cards. Cards will be played face up in any order but will be resolved from left to right under each bomber. The first player to finish playing their cards takes the first player token and flips a 30-second timer for the other players to finish playing their card. Action resolution phase. In this phase, actions are resolved in player order, and action cards are resolved in the order they are assigned. All bomber 1s are resolved in player order, and then all bomber 2s. Movement cards show the start point and end point of bomber movement. Movement cards may be played in any orientation that allows for a legal move. You must move all of your programmed moves if possible, even if they cause you to perish. For example, run into a pit. Monsters and certain obstacles block movement through them. If you cannot complete the full movement, that movement card is ignored. Bombers may move over other bombers but may not end their move on the same space. Play a bomb card in order to place a bomb on the map. The bomb token is placed on the board at the point when the action card is resolved. Bombers may move through or land on flags, placing a flag token to show ownership. If you are not standing on the flag that you claimed, another player may come along after you and claim it for themselves. Players may claim power-ups when they land on or run over them. They collect the actual token from the board and may use it any time before, after, or in between actions within their turn. Power-ups may give the player extra moves, victory points, or special bombs with extra effects. A push card can be played to affect the state of the board during the action resolution phase. Monsters and players can be pushed 1 space. Bombs, or stacks of bombs, can be pushed and slid until they encounter a player or monster. Upkeep phase. At the end of the turn, you resolve bombs, move monsters, respawn monsters, power-ups, and players, and score flags. Bombs explode in a cross formation around the bomb. When players blow up another player's bomber or a monster, they receive a victory point token. Move monsters. Each monster moves its indicated movement. Resolve monster movement from the top down, left to right, in order to make sure that all monsters move. Respawn monsters. There should be 1 monster for each player on the board. If there are fewer, randomly draw a monster from the bag, check the placement on the back, and place it on the appropriate spot on the board. If there are any empty power-up spots on the board, draw one from the bag and fill the spot. Players will score flags and get victory points equal to the number of flags they control minus 1. 2 flags, 1 point. The first player to reach 10 victory points is the winner of the game.